In this video, I will reveal my Facebook ad strategy, which I have used, where I have spent more than 400,000 euros on ads, and I will reveal to you how I set up my campaigns, how I manage my campaigns, how I decide what to turn off or what to turn on, how I decide to scale the ads. This is coming from my own experience, and I'm actually going to show you a lot of stuff in the trenches, and I'm going to show you my tracking. If you want to launch ads, or you want to scale your ads, or you want to improve your ad performance, this video is for you. If you don't know me, my name is Nick. I have a company of 20 plus experienced professionals where we help small, medium businesses to scale with ads and to scale with appointment setters and scale with closers and kind of build the infrastructure. Also have been on the Forbes 30 under 30 Baltic cover, also have the ClickFunnels awards and everything like that. And right now, let's jump in and let me just show a lot of this stuff. It's not scripted, so it's gonna be maybe a little bit raw, but it's gonna be really, really interesting and it's gonna be really insightful. So the first thing, I'm talking from experience. Let me just show you my ad account. This is one of them. So you can see in this ad account, we have spent 281,000 euros. Last month, we spent around 15K on this one ad account, and we have a lot of leads. We run group funnels and we run VSL funnels. So all of these leads are website leads, which means they're filling out an opt-in form. So that's number one, right? So let's put like last 30 days, so it's more applicable to you. So how do we structure the campaigns? So first and foremost, every campaign has one big idea in it. Every campaign has one big idea in it. And one big idea is typically the same offer. That's number one. And number two, the big targeting selection. Because for targeting, we are targeting Europe, and Europe, as you may understand, has a lot of different countries, and it's a little bit different than America, because maybe if you run ads in America, you can just run America and that's it. But in Europe, we are segmenting countries because we have noticed huge differences from specific countries where, okay, we get leads, but those leads never become bookings or never become clients. So we don't run ads to those things, but we segment and kind of shift different places. As an example, here you can see, so the first letters here, the SD, means the offer. So it's a super direct offer. The level 3 means countries. So we level 3 and level 2. Let me just show you. So we have selected basically for level 2, we have these countries. Let's say it's Spain, Poland, Baltics, which is Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia, Czech Republic, Italy, Finland, Norway, Portugal, Sweden. So those are level 3 too. This is actually level 3. I'll just write it. This is level 3. So level 3, we have these countries. That's the one of the segmentation ways, okay? The next one, we know that this one is authority funnel and this one is a group. Let me now jump into one of the campaigns and just show you kind of inside of it how it looks. So let's open this one because this has the most ad spend in the last 30 days. So, okay, so here we have different ad sets. Let me just jump into them. So this one is with videos and this one is without videos. So in this section, we are just testing this one because the targeting is pretty broad, but we're just selecting and checking out what's happening with the creatives, which are working better or not the best. And now let me open one different campaign. Let me just show you a different one so you can see the example. So here is a good example of how we select the targeting. So all of them here will have the same ads, which you can see here. Listen up. Is the same ones. These are the same ones, but we have different interests, as you can see here. So different interests. Like here is the level 2 is the country selection. New business. This is an interest which is a new business, which we have seen to kind of be a good interest, like this one. Like this one you can see here. The different ones will have different interests, and here we're just testing, checking interests. And you might be thinking, but why? Oh, okay, Nick, these ads are off. Let me just show maximum results. But these ads are off. Yes, why they're off? Why? So we have two different things we check to kind of determine if they are on or off. Let me just kind of explain it to you. Number one thing you need to do when you launch your first ads, like when you launch ads, what you need to do, you need to define your KPI. You need to define your KPI. So let's say I'm running ads for leads. number one thing you need to decide is, okay, because you don't know what's going to be the cost per bookings, you don't know what's going to be your cost per acquisition, like how much you're going to pay to get a account, because you don't know. You just are launching ads. So you need to define your KPI. How much are you going to pay, which is okay, per lead? Rule of thumb, there's no right and wrong answer, but typically if you're doing something very direct, maybe 10, 20 euros per lead can be okay. If you're doing something indirect, let's say a PDF, a brochure, a webinar, a free training, then of course 5 euros, 7 euros, like 3 euros, it's fine. And also depends on the country and also depends on your market. So there's many things that make this cost per lead change, okay? So this is important. Once you define the KPI, and again, you can test it out. No, you just need to decide it in the beginning and then you can adapt it and change it. Because for us, we know our KPIs. Let me just show you the example. So for us, in English, cost per lead, 10 euros is the KPI. If it's below that, amazing. If it's above it, okay, it's not amazing. We need to improve it, change it, okay? Then we have defined cost per booked call because we have data. If you don't have data in the beginning, it's going to be very hard to define these things because you just don't know, right? You just don't know. But once you have some data, some experience, maybe 100 leads, 200 leads, you can get an understanding, okay, how many of these can I book? Okay, I'm paying around this much per booked call. How many of them are actually showing up? Okay, so I can pay this amount because actuality, it all should come from how much am I willing to pay to acquire a customer. It should come from that, but it's very hard to kind of get the numbers if you're calculating from that, because if you don't have any data. So that's why I'm saying it. But in general, you should calculate this from the cost per acquisition. For me, in my Latvian market, based on my price point, I had defined that I want to spend not more than 400 euros per new client. But in my English market, which is like everybody, or maybe you're watching this video, we had defined that we want to spend not more than 850 euros to acquire a customer, right? Based on those numbers, we know, okay, we can pay probably 120 euros to have a call that actually happened, like a meeting that happened. Based on our close rate, which is approximately jumping up and down, it's like 20%. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. So based on that number, this is the number, okay? And then we know, okay, we have show rates. So many people who book a call maybe sometimes don't come to the call. So it's like a show rate, right? How many people do come to the call. So I can know, okay, how much I'm going to pay per booked meeting, like how much I'm willing to pay, okay? And then based on that, I know, okay, I have 10 leads and I can book one call. So I would assume, okay, I need to pay 7.5 euros per lead because every 10th lead I can get on the calendar. But in my case, it's a little bit better maybe, so we don't know. It's like then 10 euros is the benchmark. So once you define the benchmark, so amazing, this is just my example, okay? Once you define the benchmark, the question is, what and when do I turn off? What and when do I turn off? Do I go here in the campaign level and I check like last 7 days? I look, oh, this campaign, 18 euros per lead, I just turn it off. Do I do it like that or how do I do it? Like, how do I do it? So my recommendation in the beginning is to look at cost per lead. A little bit later, it's much better to look at cost per booked call and then looking at cost per acquisition, like how much are you paying to acquire an actual customer from that campaign or from that ad, okay? That's number one. But the rule of thumb, what to turn off, is as follows. So I would look at 7, 14 days, and 3-day time spans, okay? 7, 3, and 14. 7, 3, 14. These kind of times. Number one thing I do, let's say last 7 days, let's say which campaign the most spending, so this one. So I go inside of here. Next step is I look at the ad set levels. So I look at the ad set levels. So I check last 3 days. I see, oh, one is high. But this is medium, this is low. And you remember, my KPI was 10 euros per lead. Okay. And now you need to remember one thing. So I now check, Okay, here is red. Okay, in this ad set, it's red. It's like high, right? Last 3 days, last 7 days is also high, last 14 days also high, but the amount of spend is not so, no, it's maybe not enough. But it is actually not enough, but it's okay. Let me just show you an example so you'll understand. So I go inside of this ad set, and then maybe you have a lot of ads. In this example, okay, I have one ad, but maybe you have 3, 4 ads. So the rule of thumb is 1.5x KPI. 1.5x KPI. In my case, if my KPI is 10 euros per lead, it would be 15 euros. So if I see that this campaign or this ad is performing worse in the trend, because the trend, as you say, it's 3 days, 7 days, 14 days. If it's performing like going down the trend, if the costs are going up, in this example, this is like 34 euros. My KPI would be 15. I will turn off the ad, and I will start always with the ads. I turn it off. Okay. Then if I have more ads, okay, then you have more ads. But in this example, I turn it off. This one, I also turn it off because it's just one ad. That's why I turned it off. But okay, let me check now this one. So let me check last 3 days. It's like a little bit higher. So let's open it up. Oh, now we have 2 ads here. Okay, nice. Nice example, because this is not scripted, guys. So I'm just like, raw talking with you guys. So let's check last 2 days. I see. So this one, a little bit out of KPI. This ad is launched recently and it has no spend. So I would not touch it because it has no spend. What I like to do, I like my ads to spend at least 3 times the KPI before I can make any decision. At least 3 times KPI. In this case, it means I want the ad to spend at least 30 euros before I turn it off or make a decision. Otherwise, there's like no ad spend. How can you turn it off if there's no ad spend? You don't know if the ad was even running because you didn't give it a chance, okay? So I checked this one. This one, not the best. 16.7 would be bad because it's above my 1.5x, the KPI. Okay, remember? I now look at the trend. Oh, the trend, last 7 days, it shows 6.7. Okay, last 14 days, it shows 6. That makes me think that, okay, before it was much better results, but now, last 3 days, it's somehow gone below my results. Okay, maybe let's check 4 days. Let's just check 4 days. In the 4 days, it's okay. So last 3 days, something maybe happened. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just check it. I'm gonna look at it, okay, maybe something, because sometimes the ads can perform worse if there's, let's say, like 10 people commenting something really bad about it. That also can impact the performance because people see what people are commenting, and then based on that, they decide, am I gonna click it or not? That does impact it, okay? And sometimes these emojis impact it. But in this ad, everything looks fine. So what I would do in this example, because I don't have any more ads in this one ad set, I would keep this ad. I would keep this one and I would keep this one. But I would keep a close eye on this ad because it's very, very close to not being good. So I would keep maybe 1-2 days more, and then I would turn it off if the cost per lead does not lower itself. One more thing, to be advanced thing. The advanced thing is to understand that these settings in Meta and what you see in Meta, because of the tracking and the pixels and everything, are maybe not so accurate, okay? Maybe not so accurate. The really good way, what we have noticed, is to do this. So let me just show you. So here I have every lead that's been created, let's say today. So, and every lead that gets created today comes with it the campaign name, ad set name, and actually the ad as well. So let me just show you. So here it is, ad. So here you can see it. So here I can see this. Actually, we are getting leads from this particular ad, but I can check, are they coming from that audience as well? So in this ad, the audience is called this one. So level 2, personal development, 6.6 million, and listen up. So what I would do, I'm gonna open this one. I'm gonna put not this week, but last like 3 days. So from 6th to 9th, okay? From 6th to 9th. here I will put the selection on weeks, so it's like everybody I can see. So here I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna select lead source because I know which lead source it is. It's from the group. And now I'm gonna check it like this. So now I see that actually we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leads we actually got. But Meta shows in the last, it shows actually the same. Okay, it's the same, but typically it's not the same. Okay, guys, typically it's not the same. From 6th to 9th. Okay, let me just show from 6th to 9th. From 6th to now, it's basically 2 days. Yeah. Okay, it shows only 4, but it was 5. Okay, so that's how I would check it. This is like the real checking. The real checking is in your CRM. That's the real checking. Then you can know for sure it's like correct, okay? So the idea is as follows. You check the ads first. You turn off anything if it's above 1.5, the KPI, which you have defined for yourself. Then you at least give the ad 3 times the KPI, which you have defined of ad spend, okay? If you don't know what KPI to put like 10 or 20 euros. It's okay. Okay, it's gonna be probably okay. It's gonna be above, it's gonna be more than you actually could pay per lead. But it's okay, because in the beginning you don't have data, so it's much okay. It's okay if you kind of stretch the KPI in the beginning, okay? Then, once that is done, you go inside of the ad set level and then you turn off the ad sets, which are not performing as they could perform, or if they're also not inside of this KPI which you have defined. And then you turn off the campaign if everything is off, okay? Next thing, how do you improve the results? One of the ways how we can improve the results is as follows. So once you have launched your campaigns, it's just basically to look at this. Okay, this is it within KPIs, and you basically can duplicate this. Let me just do it right now. Duplicate. I'm just gonna duplicate. I don't like these, all these, like I'm gonna duplicate. I'll turn off this. I'm gonna duplicate this one, and I'm gonna add some variation. And which is gonna be, I'm just gonna change the targeting. I'm gonna put different interests. Let's say personal development. This is suggestion. You can look. Sometimes it's good because you can see some relevant things that are like kind of coming from this one. So let's put like learning. I think it's a good interest, learning. I don't think we have tried learning. So learning, okay? Let's do learning. So why doesn't show the audience size is because we have added the exclusion. So we have added things that are excluding. You can see here, exclude like leads. So don't show ads to people who are these leads. So if I turn them off, I'll just check the audience size. So it's 4.4. So I'll add it also. I kind of like to add it, 4.4M. So rule of thumb for audiences, never below 100K. Ideally from 100 to 1 million, the audience size. But in my case, I'm spending more money than typical people are spending on Meta, because if you're spending like 10 to 100 euros per day, then you really need to look at these audience sizes, because it's going to be really kind of key, because you're not going to shoot with bazooka for like a sparrow. You're going to be more like a sniper on the sparrow, not the bazooka on the sparrow, you know? It's going to be hard to just hit it. So that's why I can be a little bit broader, because we're more aggressive. We are spending like more money. So now I'm gonna add them back, the exclusions down. And now I'm basically launching it. So this is how you add variations if your ad sets are not performing. You can do the same for the ads. If you find one audience which is really working, you're like seeing, okay, this audience which I kind of found on Meta is producing the best results, then you can really just like add ads. And that's what we're doing as well. So we're actually like tracking these things. Now, once you understand that, what you could do, you can play around with the concepts of the ads, what are you promoting, the offer you're promoting. As you can see here, I have an offer that's promoting a group, like a free group. Then I have an offer which is like a very direct ad. Let me just show you that as well. So let me just jump into it. Let me just show you the ad. So this is very direct. It's like, you can see, it's like this ad, and then I go to the landing page. Let me just show you the landing page. This is the landing page, and it's more direct. It's like to help you generate qualified sales calls a month on autopilot and land new clients in the next 14 to 30 days. get instant access to see how it works. This is more direct. This is not like, hey, join my group to get free value. This is more direct, right? And I'm also understand the more you are directly saying what you're offering, it's very likely that the cost per lead can go up, because it's going to be less people are more inclined to kind of jump in to sign up and become a lead. If you're doing something that is like free value, sign up and win the lottery, it's going to be more people are willing to do that, but doesn't necessarily mean the quality of the lead is going to be the same, right? And then once you're doing this, Nick said also to check maybe the KPI should be cost per meetings, because you can also do that. Sometimes leads can cost higher, but the lead quality is much, much better. So how do you do that? So let me show you how we do it. So we use a tracking sheet just like this one. So here I have my English market, and here I have my Latvian market. So here I use a tracking sheet. So how do we do it? So number one, we check how many days a campaign is active. Next thing, we check how many leads we have. Where do we check it? In our CRM. Then we check how many planned meetings we have from that campaign. How do we check it? In our CRM. So you need a CRM to basically check this. Otherwise, it's very impossible, very hard. Then we check how many meetings happen from that campaign. And then we know what's the cost per meeting plan, what's the cost per meeting happen, and then I know how many deals we have won, and then I know my CPA. And in this campaign, specifically, we have spent like almost 100K, and we have 120 clients, and the cost per client is like 831 euros. But in Latvian market, you can see it's much, much, much better. But the Latvian market, by the way, there's like 800,000 people on Meta you can actually target. So it's very, very, very small, right? Worldwide market is like almost 3.7 billion people, I think, in Meta. Maybe I'm wrong a little bit, but I think that's accurate data based on 2023. So it's very interesting. So this is how we do it. And one more thing, and I know it's one more thing, we do this data for the last 30 days and the last 14 days. Let me just show you the most relevant campaigns we have active. So this is the most relevant campaign we have active. You can see we launched this in February. So it has 15K spent, 15 clients, like cost per client is more than we want. And here you can see we're tracking the data based on 30 days, based on 14 days. So we are checking it very, very closely, because that's the way how you can determine if the cost per booking is okay, cost per lead is okay. And one more advanced strategy to kind of do this, because you may think, oh, Nix has this nice CRM where he sees like campaign name, ad set, ad name. How do you do it? So number one thing, in every ad, you need to add this snippet here, which is the URL parameter. So you need to add this one, and then you need to add from Zapier or some other automation. You need to connect this data, which comes from here, inside of your CRM. So every lead I get, I'll show you one example. So every lead I get, like this is one example, every lead I get, it comes also with this information. So I have like custom fields about placement, about funnel, about the ad set, about the campaign name, and as well about the lead source. So I know specifically where did this person come from, which signed up from our landing pages. So this was deep information. So if you have comments, questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. I will be happy to answer them. So nonetheless, hope you scale your ads. Hope this was interesting. Hope this was insightful. So stay sharp, and I see you in the next video.